Hello and welcome to Athena's Creations 2017. I'm Athena Turk, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator since 2017, and I have for you a new bundle suite of product that is live. This is called the Impressions Abloom, and it's got some really fun dies. I've got 3-4 cards, I think. To share with you some fun folds using this new suite, using some of the paper. It is absolutely a beautiful set of product, and I actually got to play a little bit with it during On Stage in March this year. So I've been distracted by some of the other fun goodies that are available. So I only have a few cards, but I have lots of great ideas. So hopefully I will feature this one again. And we'll go ahead and get started so that I can share with you the fun folds. I've got the measurements for you and everything. And if you have any questions, just reach out and I'll be happy to help you along. Our new catalog debuted this week or last week actually. And this is an online exclusive, and I find myself really wanting to play more and more with not only the new catalog stuff, but these online exclusives are pretty nice, I have to say. I really enjoy these. So let's go ahead and point the camera down so we can go ahead and get started this evening. There we go. Pardon that little moment there while I bring the camera down. And I'm hoping, I got this right this time. A couple weeks ago when I was live, I think I didn't get it as close to my project as I had hoped. All right, let's see. I think that should work. There we go. One more thing before we get started here. There we go. All right, hopefully it won't lose focus. I think that is as close as I can get without it. You're seeing the arm in this picture. That's strange. Hold on just a second. There we go. Just have to maneuver a little bit. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. I'm done fiddling, I think. Like I said, I've been playing with this suite of product for a while. And let's see. I guess I don't have the packet handy. But there's a lot of beautiful designer paper that goes with this one. Now this one comes with, you can get it as a bundle, you can get it as a suite. I can't remember honestly if there's a ribbon. There's not. There's embellishments. That's right. Okay, so here are some of the dies. What I always like to do is I order the little 5x7s off of Amazon. I should totally become an affiliate because I use a lot of the stuff they have for some of my crafting. And so here's the dies. I like to take them out of their package. They have a little sticky on them, and I like to put them on this 5x7 so that I can see exactly all of the dies. Now these are amazing. I've just barely started playing with these, and I'll show you in a minute. There's lots of nice texture. They die cut them out. Let's see. There's all these little pieces. And so what they demonstrated on stage was doing something like this, where you do all the die cuts and then you put them on some cardstock or some paper, and it shows you all the different pieces that can be die cut out. This one here, I did not expect that to happen, so I don't know of an idea yet to play with that one, but which one is that? I don't even see it. Oh, here we go. So it's these two little tiny ones right here. So it just gives that impression on your paper. Everything else has got like a die cut for it. And then this one has that nice little edge there. It also die cuts out the center. So you could technically layer this one on top of this die cut here. So there's some neat little things that you can do with the die cut pieces, and we're going to actually do some tonight that I'm going to share with you. Trying to keep this organized, but anyway. Okay, so here's all these. It's two-step stamping. Even the middle, there's all kinds of nice sentiments here. I appreciate you, thanks. And so this really kind of helps give me an idea of what to do. Like these, you can make little flowers and put on the stems. So it's really nice when you have the whole kit and caboodle, so to speak. All right, let me take this over to the side for a minute so that I can make room. All right, so this is, I think I've showed this a couple, a month ago or so. This is what I came up with. This was my design when I first started to play with this stamp bundle. And it was just basically stamping, stamps, ink, and paper, and the embellishments, the new in colors. And this one too, kind of a simple Z fold. And I think this is also the Strawberry Slush in Pretty in Pink Gems. And then something new that Stampin' Up! Is doing is when you click on a bundle or you click on a stamp set, if you scroll down a little bit, it'll show what else is available with that goes and coordinates with maybe the suite, or maybe it's a bundle that coordinates. This one actually is a suite, and I totally missed it right off the bat. This is the Pressed Flowers embossing folder. And it gives these nice impressions here. And I found that to be very fun, very interesting. So we're going to play with that as well. When I first get my stamps and ink out, I just start stamping. That's kind of my thing. I like to just see what they're going to do, what the stamp colors together look like. Do I want to do color on color, or do I want to do a contrasting color? So I just got out some of the new in colors and just kind of had a little bit of a play. You can always use the back side if you're not wanting to use that for a project, but that's the first thing I do. And then this I wanted to just mention is part of the book treat boxes. And then I use this to, whenever I'm playing with a new suite, I will put all the little bits and pieces in here. Because again, I'm playing around with it, kind of seeing what the suite will do, playing with some of the colors, die cut them out. And this is very fun right here. I can see lots of ideas with this one just by playing with it. And again, just stamping, die cutting them out just to see what they are. So I had this off to the side, kind of like my little collectible, collecting all the things. And we're actually going to stamp a flower just like this tonight. And then they come out flat when you put them through. But what I like to do is I get my bone folder and then I just kind of give it a little, I don't even know what you would call that. Just kind of a little curl right there. And then it just kind of gives that 3D flower effect. Really pretty blooms right here. And then the two-step stamping, we're going to use Pretty in Pink for the first flower. What I'm going to call detailed part of the flower, we're using the Strawberry Slush. Both of these are new in colors. This is the returning one that was new last year, and then this is brand new this year, Strawberry Slush. This happens to be a returning in color from years ago. I think that might have been when I first started stamping. I don't know, it's been a while since that one has returned. And so I've got several little cards here I want to share with you tonight, or today, whatever. And I guess we're going to just dive right into the very first one that I want to share. And I tend to keep some fabulous cards, and this was one I had had in my stash for quite a while before I figured out that the best thing for me is card templates. And so what I like to do now is when I get a card, like this one's a really fun fold, right? I just do the measuring now. So I've got my handy dandy ruler. I do the measuring. This is one of those cards I'd made years and years ago. Some of you may remember this fun little set and everything. I think we used Wink of Stella. This is called a stand-up card, and I'll hold this still if you want to take a quick screenshot. This is card base is 11 by 4 1/4, scored at 5 1/2. The card base 2 is 10 1/8, or 10 plus 2 of those marks by 4, scored on the 10 and an 1/8 inch side at 2.5 and 5. The designer paper, you're going to need 2 pieces that are measured 3 3/4 by 2 1/4, and then 1 piece that is measured 3 3/4 by 5. And this is a beautiful fold card. It's when I had my stash. So I got this beautiful stamp bundle, sweet out, whatever you want to call it, and decided to come up with a really fun fold, trying to use some of the different techniques and designs that are included. And this is what I came up with. And then this is the inside. Friends are flowers in the garden of life. Now let me tell you about that. That sentiment is from another favorite of mine. You Are Remarkable. Another 2-step stamping. You've got the cute little bee. I love this standalone, all by itself stamp set. There's no dies or anything like that, but this is one of my favorites. And I do believe this is an online exclusive as well. I'm really digging those online exclusives. I really, really am. And so I just thought, okay, let's do something like that. And then we're using the little gems, the paper. It's absolutely gorgeous. We're also going to use a blending brush. I got my little note here to remember. We're going to use the blending brush and use the Pretty in Pink for this piece right here. So basically what I did this ahead of time. I die cut this out from the dies that I showed you earlier, and then I put it through the embossing folder, and just to give it a little extra something. So here's all the fun pieces for this one. There's a lot to this, but I just love how this card came together. It's a fancy, fun fold, and then there's an actual inside. So it's going to stand up like that. Fun fold. So pretty. Okay, and you know, now that I think about it, you probably could put something like this right here and add something else. But I thought this was a great way to show off this beautiful paper. And I don't know if you realize, but you can see some of the in colors in this paper as well. All right, hopefully I've got this not too close, but close enough that you can see what's going on. I know in my videos in the past, I think they were too far up, and it was hard to see some of the details, I believe. Okay. Oh, this must be the extra piece that I just included. I think that's what I did. Yeah, I think that's right. And just put that back in there like that. So we'll go ahead and start folding the card base. There we go. And then, of course, we're going to do a little bit of stamping as well. Thanks for being there. We've got some really pretty pieces here. Both sides are absolutely gorgeous. This would make a really nice Mother's Day card. And then let's see. We should stamp and then assemble, right? That's probably the best thing to do. Now the inside, this one I just stamped off and stamped on, so I'm just kind of playing around with that one. So we'll do that as well. And then Friends are Flowers in the Garden of Life. We'll go ahead and stamp Thanks for Being There, and then we'll stamp our flower on that one so you can see the 2-step stamping with that. I'll demonstrate that for you as well. Let's go ahead and open this one up. Pretty in Pink. We got our tiny little blending brush here. Just dabble it. Pick up some color and brush it on there. And start off to the side. Especially when you have darker colors, if you go directly on there, it'll just give it a nice little outline. So cute. Okay, so we're going to stamp on the inside as well. Set that one aside just for a second. And yep, I couldn't remember I'd cleaned them. Color on color is kind of nice. It's not too dark. Just a little bit of something there, right? Yeah, I don't like how that looks, so let's not do that. Okay. And now, we'll come back to that in just a second. Friends, here we go. Our flowers in the Garden of Life. We're going to go ahead and use our Memento ink. And if I'm not mistaken, I've got all but a couple of the stamps on blocks. And then you're just going to put it right there in the center and just hold it down long enough to let that ink soak in to the paper like that. So now we have the front ready to assemble our beautiful paper here. Oh, I almost goofed, didn't I? Definitely have to be careful about that. We've got this piece here. I always have to refer back to my sample. Okay. So it opens like this. So then this one's going to go just like that. So we can go ahead and assemble this second cardstock piece here. Yep, I just double checking that. All right. And then we're going to continue with the adhesive. Now we can add our designer paper here. Just like that. Oops, there we go. Isn't that beautiful? I love that paper. All right. And then we've got our little piece. I'm all thumbs tonight, so I'm going to use that gummy piece to help pick that up for me, since I'm all thumbs. Then this piece is just going to go right there. Alrighty. And then our final piece right here, designer series paper. Just kind of, it almost looks like it's the perfect cut, but that's all right. It doesn't need to line up perfectly. And next, we're going to stamp thanks for being there. And I'm going to use one of our new in colors, Secret Sea. This stamp pad is fantastic. Absolutely love it. Tap, tap, tap. And then we're going to stamp it in the corner. Just like that. Love that new in color. I have a feeling I'm going to be using that one quite a lot. So now we're going to set that off to the side. Well, actually, we can go ahead and adhere it because the rest of it we're going to stamp and we'll die cut out. Just find that sweet spot And then you're only going to adhere this first part right here. Just like that. Okay. And we do have a piece already ready to go here. But I do want to show you how easy it is to stamp these pieces. Do that a couple of times. All right. I'm not using that one, so I can set that off to the side. All right. The first thing I'm going to do is stamp Pretty in Pink. I'm going to call it the solid color. Just trying to think how I did that last time. So there's this long piece, and then there's like 3. I don't know how to describe that. Pretty in Pink. And then let's go ahead and close that one up. And we're going to get out our beautiful strawberry slush. Then I've got that long piece there and the 3 there. If that makes sense. Tap, tap, tap. And I'm just finding that sweet spot. Once you commit, don't rock the block. Isn't that pretty? Okay, let's do that one more time. Oh, that's gorgeous. And then on some scrap paper, if you have it handy. I think I do. Let's go ahead and close the slush up. And then we're going to get out our pecan pie for the middle piece. Tap, tap, tap. Isn't that pretty? Oh, that's gorgeous. And then you die cut this one out and voila, as they say. And then we're going to stamp in garden green the little leaf part. That's a nice looking leaf. And this one has 2 die cuts with it. So you can cut out 2 at a time. And then this is just one of those pieces when you cut your paper down, that's what's left over, which is the perfect measurement for the little leaves. And ta-da, die cut those out. I cheated a little bit. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to put this one up on dimensionals. This pretty little flower here. Okay. Oops. Everything's sticking to me all of a sudden. Let's see, how did I put that on? All right, I think we'll put it just like that. And then we're going to get our handy little leaves. And I like to use the glue dots. Those make adhering so much easier. Oops, I got a little sticky on the outside there. And this one, I just want to give it a little greenery right there. And so next, We're going to get these beautiful embellishments out. And I think I want to do this one, this little one right here. Put one right over here. And we'll put another one right over here. Voila. There is our first card. The Fun Fold. Hopefully you liked that one. Then next, I have a simple card using the beautiful Strawberry Slush paper. I appreciate you. Something about that basic black just really brings out that color. And then here's the information. So the Pretty in Pink, the same thing. We did the flower just a minute ago, the same thing. So the measurement for this card is the black piece is 5 by 3.5. The DSP is 4 3/4 by 3 1/4. And we're using the solid in Pretty in Pink and the detailed stamp in Strawberry Slush. It's gonna go just like that. There's our pieces. This one has some extra pieces to it as well. All right, there we go. I'm going to go ahead and layer our designer series paper right on top. Basic black. And if I had thought ahead of time, what you can always do when you know you're going to be layering is get a punch or a die cut and make use of that center piece. I kind of forgot. I tend to forget to do that, and I really should do that more often. All right, go ahead and layer this one right on the top. This is a really simple fold. I like this one a lot. And if you had it smaller, you could probably use the embossing folder, but I just thought this really looked really nice like this. Oops, is that cockeyed? Hopefully not. And then this piece, I was going to do thanks for being there, but I can flip it over and stamp I appreciate you instead. I think I like that one much better. And again, we're going to use Secret C for this one. Oh, that's so pretty. I love how that stamps so well. I don't know about you, but I'm constantly in search of a really great stamp like that. That sentiment's perfect. So pretty. We're going to put this one down flat because our little flower is going to go on dimensionals. But before we do that, I'm going to stamp the middle with Secret C. There we go. Oh, I don't like how that turned out. Well, it'll do. All right, again, we're going to put this one on dimensionals. Really pretty sweet. And I also use for little pieces on my desk instead of reaching back behind me every time I have some trash. And again, we're going to use, oops, I went ahead and stamped and die cut these out already. And we're going to put those on. It's actually, that's Granny Apple Green. Putting those on the glue dots, just to give it a little something there. And then get out our beautiful embellishments again. I don't like how that middle piece turned out, so let's see, do I have anything in here that would, you know what, let's layer it with this piece here. We're gonna change it up. And I'm just gonna give it a little flick on the flower part with the bone folder. Let's layer that, because I think that's really cute. Gotta change it up. And what else can we do? You know, we got these little bitty cute things. I wonder, not that. Man, we need something for the middle. Maybe we'll just put one of these doodads on there. Yeah, that's gonna work. Covers that up. Gives it a different kind of look too. I like that. Okay, so we have one in the middle of the flower. We got one there, and we're gonna put a nice big size one right over here. I like that. So it's great to have these little pieces in case you mess up. So there's my original, and then there's my stepped up one, if you will. I appreciate you. And we could put a little piece of white in there if we wanted, but I think it's just fine like that. Card number 2. And now for the finale, we've got a fun fold that's going to show off the beautiful paper. And for this one, I got out one of my card templates that's like this. All right, and so this fold, these pieces, this is 2 2/3, or excuse me, 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. There's 2 of those. And then this white piece is 5 by 3 3/4. And the DSP is 12 by 5 1/4, scored at 12 on the 12-inch side at 2, 4, 6, and 8. The actual card base is 1/4 of a piece of cardstock, or 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. And you use circles or squares, and then the layering pieces, which I did some layering, 2 1/2 by 2 1/2, and you'll need 2 of those for the center. And so with that, I designed and came up with this one. And this really shows off that gorgeous paper. Even the backside is absolutely gorgeous. Used fresh freesia for that stamp. And I think on this one, I want to put something in the middle. You are remarkable in every single way. Friends are flowers in the garden of life. Fun fold, and look at that. Oh, it's gorgeous. And again, we're using sentiments from You Are Remarkable, that stamp set. Absolutely beautiful. Love this one so much. Friends are flowers in the garden of life. So let's move this out of the way for now. I almost don't have enough room up here. Okay. Now we're going to bring in, let's see, we've got Berry Burst that we're using for that stamp. I'm going to need to clean these. That one. Let's see, this one. That's Darling Duckling. Just double checking here. Okay. All right. So we've got that one. This is a really fun fold, showing off this beautiful paper that's part of that suite as an online exclusive. All right. And then the You Are Remarkable stamp set has that one. Friends are flowers in the garden of life. And you are remarkable in every single way. I do need to clean these stamps because we're using a couple of different colors. And then Darling Duckling. And then this middle piece is going to be using the Pecan Pie. So let me just make sure these are clean. All right, should be good to go on that one. So here's all these little pieces. We'll go ahead and do our stamping first, and then we'll assemble. So this one, we're going to stamp on the corners in Darling Duckling. I do believe that's correct. And it's not this one. I'm glad I double checked that. It's part of the You Are Remarkable. And now I'm second guessing myself. I didn't put a little sticky note. Let's just see what that's going to do. Okay, it's not Darling Duckling. That's too dark. That's one of the new in colors. That's why I wanted to double check. So I can turn that over. And actually, we're going to be using Daffodil Delight. It's a little bit lighter on the color. When I designed this card, it's been 2 or 3 weeks, and if I don't make myself a note, I don't always remember the exact shaded color, but that's okay. That's why we have 2 sides. So we have our Daffodil Delight. We're just gonna give it a little stamp in the corner there. And then our Pecan Pie for the centerpiece. The center part of the flower. Oh, that's so cute. One of my favorites. Really, really like that one. And then we're going to stamp Friends are flowers in the garden of life. Using our Memento ink, and then this one's just going to go right in the center. Hey, Kathy, thank you so much for joining us tonight. There we go. So pretty. Love that one. All right. And so now we can go ahead and do the next one, which is You Are Remarkable in Every Single Way. And we're going to do this Berry Burst flower on the corner. But you know what? That's going to be Fresh Freesia. 1 second. Yep, Fresh Freesia. All right, there we go. Yep, that one's clean. Okay. Just give it a little stamp on the bottom. Oh, that's such a pretty color. I like that a lot. All right. You are remarkable in every single way. This would be a really great card to give a friend. And then just hold it down, let that ink soak in. I love these fun fold cards. They're so fun to make and to stamp. All right, so this piece, we're gonna set it aside just for a moment. And then we're gonna stamp the berry burst in the corner of this one. And that's just enough cardstock for anything else that you might want to write. So I turned it so it gives that look like it's two different colors, but it's the same color, just stamped on and then turned and stamped again for that beautiful berry burst. All right, so now that we've got everything stamped, we'll go ahead and start adhering. I like to hold it down, lift up the top, then add my adhesive. There's that one. And then this piece, same thing, hold it down, apply your adhesive. This is the card base. This is that gorgeous designer series paper featuring all the colors that are gorgeous. Beautiful, beautiful colors. And the back side's absolutely gorgeous. So there's the first fold, the second fold, third, and the fourth. There we go. That's gorgeous. Isn't that pretty? I'm gonna go ahead and find that sweet spot. Hold down one side, lift up the flap, and attach our designer paper to the card base. Our next in-home workshop that I'm hosting is going to be Saturday, May the 17th, so a week from this Saturday. If you would like to stamp with us, join us, just let me know. We would love to have you come stamp with us. I've already been working on some fun stamps, working with some new stamps to make some new fun folds at our workshop. I have all the cards cut, all the designer paper, everything cut and ready for you to just come and stamp, put together. Now this first fold, this one's going to be right there. So I'm going to hold it down and I'm going to lift it up and only apply adhesive just to that piece right there. So it will only be on the outside piece there. Then we fold it down. This one's going to layer right on top, just like that. Super fun and easy. Again, only adhere to that designer series paper. Just like that. You are remarkable in every single way. Friends are flowers in the garden of life. And that is our third fun fold. Oh, and then here's the measurements if you want to take a quick screenshot for this fun fold. It's a fold that shows off the designer series paper. I absolutely love these kind of folds. They're so fun. And again, that was from my card template that I made years ago. And then our simple fold card, which is, again, another fun one. And then our first card that I showed off. Thanks for being there. Another fun fold. Just like that. So hopefully you are inspired to get out some of your beautiful paper, cut them up and make gorgeous cards using some new fun folds. Would love to see if you design any cards and make any. I would love to see them. The stamp sets and bundles that were featured tonight was from You Are Remarkable, one of my favorite new standalone stamp sets, and the Stamp Suite Impressions Abloom. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. We'll see you next week with some more new and exciting cards. Happy stamping!